Let us begin with critical analysis of prescribed prose. This is a very important topic in literature in English. It appears in your exams every single year. By the end of this lesson, you will understand how to critically analyze a novel, including plot, character, setting, theme, style, and literary devices, using a sample analysis and how to answer exam questions. For this lesson, we will use Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's Half of a Yellow Sun as our sample text. Take your notes. Let us go. First, let me give you background on Half of a Yellow Sunday. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie wrote Half of a Yellow Sun in 2006. It won the Orange Prize for Fiction. The novel is set in Nigeria during the 1960s. It depicts the Nigerian Civil War, also known as the Biafran War, from 1967 to 1970. The title refers to the Biafran flag, which had a half-yellow sun. The novel tells the story of the war through the lives of 5 main characters. It explores themes of love, loyalty, betrayal, war, and survival. Now let me explain the plot of Half of a Yellow Sunday. The novel is divided into 4 parts. Part 1 is set in the early 1960s. It introduces the characters before the war. Olana is a young woman from a wealthy family. She returns from studying in England. She lives with her lover, Odenigbo, a mathematics professor. Odenigbo is a revolutionary. He believes in socialism and Biafran independence. He has a friend named Okeoma, a poet. Olana's twin sister is Kainene. Kainene is sharp, cynical, and practical. She is in a relationship with Richard, an English writer who has come to Nigeria to write a book. Richard loves Igbo culture. He wants to write about the art of the region. The household also includes Ugwu, a young houseboy from the village. He is loyal and kind. Part 2 is set during the war. The Igbo people declare independence as the Republic of Biafra. Nigeria goes to war to keep the country together. The war is brutal. Millions of people die from fighting, starvation, and disease. The characters face terrible hardships. Odenigbo becomes disillusioned. His idealism is tested. Olana is raped by a soldier. She is traumatized. Kainene takes over her father's business. She becomes a smuggler to get food and medicine for the people. Richard cannot finish his book. He is overwhelmed by the suffering. Ugwu is forced to join the army. He commits terrible acts. He is haunted by what he has done. Part 3 continues the war. The situation becomes desperate. There is no food. People starve. Olana and Odenigbo lose their adopted daughter. Kainene goes missing. Richard searches for her. The novel ends with the war ending. Biafra surrenders. The characters are broken but alive. Odenigbo and Olana return to their university. They try to rebuild their lives. Richard returns to England. He writes a book about his friend Okeoma, not about art. Ugwu returns home. He tries to forgive himself. The novel ends with a sense of loss but also a sense of hope. Now let me explain the major characters in Half of a Yellow Sunday. Olana is the protagonist. She is beautiful, educated, and privileged. She chooses to live with Odenigbo, even though her parents disapprove. She is loyal. She supports Odenigbo's revolutionary ideas. During the war, she is traumatized. She is raped. She loses her daughter. She is broken. But she survives. She continues to love Odenigbo. She is a survivor. Odenigbo is an intellectual. He is passionate about mathematics and socialism. He believes in Biafran independence. During the war, his idealism is shattered. He sees the reality of violence and starvation. He is disillusioned. But he also grows. He learns to accept his flaws. He stays with Olana. He is a man of principle, even when principles fail. Kainene is Olana's twin. She is the opposite of Olana. She is sharp, cynical, and practical. She takes over her father's business. She is successful. She becomes a smuggler during the war. She is brave. She is also lonely. She pushes people away. Her relationship with Richard is strained. She goes missing at the end of the war. Her fate is unknown. She is a mystery. Richard is an English writer. He comes to Nigeria to write about art. He falls in love with Kainene. He is an outsider. He observes the war. He cannot fully understand it. He wants to write about Okayama's poetry. He is earnest but limited. Ugwu is the houseboy. He is from a poor village. He is loyal to Odenigbo and Olana. He is kind. During the war, he is forced to join the army. He commits rape. He is haunted. He returns home. He tries to be good again. He is the moral center of the novel. Now let me explain the setting of Half of a Yellow Sunday. The novel is set in Nigeria during the 1960s. The physical settings include Nsukka, where Odenigbo teaches at the university. Nsukka is a town in eastern Nigeria. It is intellectual and progressive. The university represents hope and the future. The other main setting is Port Harcourt, a city in the Niger Delta. Kainene lives there. She runs her father's business. Port Harcourt is commercial and practical. During the war, the characters move from place to place. They are refugees. They hide in the bush. They live in camps. The setting changes dramatically. The temporal setting is the 1960s. This was a period of political instability in Nigeria. There were coups, massacres, and the Biafran War. The novel captures the fear and uncertainty of the time. Now let me explain the themes in Half of a Yellow Sunday. The main theme is the horror of war. The novel shows the brutal reality of the Nigerian Civil War. People are killed. Women are raped. Children starve. The war destroys everything. It destroys homes, families, and futures. The novel does not glorify war. It shows its ugliness. Another theme is love and loyalty. The characters love each other. Olana loves Odenigbo. Kainene loves Richard. Ugwu loves his masters. Their love is tested by the war. Some relationships survive. Some do not. Loyalty is also tested. Ugwu is loyal, but he commits terrible acts. Kainene is loyal, but she disappears. The novel asks what love and loyalty mean in extreme circumstances. Another theme is the clash between tradition and modernity. Olana and Odenigbo are modern. They are educated. They reject traditional Igbo customs, but they still have ties to their families. Their parents represent tradition. The war brings back traditional values. People turn to their communities for support. Another theme is the nature of truth and storytelling. Richard wants to write a book about Nigeria. He is an outsider. He cannot fully understand what he sees. The novel suggests that only those who experience the war can truly tell its story. Ugwu also tries to write. He writes a story about a houseboy. He is telling his own story. The novel is itself a story about storytelling. Now let me explain the style and literary devices in Half of a Yellow Sunday. Adichie uses third-person point of view. She shifts between different characters. The reader sees the war through Olana's eyes, through Odenigbo's eyes, through Kainene's eyes, through Richard's eyes, and through Ugwu's eyes. This multiple perspective gives a complete picture. The reader understands the war from different angles. Adichie uses simple, clear language. She does not use big words. She lets the events speak for themselves. She uses Igbo words occasionally. She does not explain them. The reader learns from context. This creates authenticity. Adichie uses symbolism. The half of a yellow sun on the Biafran flag symbolizes the new nation. It represents hope. When the war ends, the sun is still half. The hope is not fully realized. The sun also represents the characters. They are broken but still alive. The silence in the novel is also symbolic. Olana cannot speak about her rape. Ugwu cannot speak about what he did. The silence represents trauma. It represents the things that cannot be said. Adichie uses irony. The war was supposed to create a new nation of freedom and equality. Instead, it brought death and starvation. The irony is tragic. The tone of the novel is sad, but not hopeless. The characters survive. They continue to love. They continue to live. Now let me explain how to answer exam questions on Half of a Yellow Sunday. A common exam question asks you to discuss the theme of war in Half of a Yellow Sunday. Here is a sample answer. The theme of war is central to Half of a Yellow Sunday. The novel depicts the Nigerian Civil War. It shows the brutal reality of war. People are killed, women are raped, children starve. The war destroys everything. Olana is raped. Odenigbo loses his idealism. Kainene goes missing. Ugwu commits terrible acts. The war destroys the characters' lives. But the novel also shows survival. The characters continue to live. They continue to love. Adichie does not glorify war. She shows its horror. She also shows the resilience of the human spirit. Another exam question asks you to analyze the character of Ugwu. Here is your answer. Ugwu is the houseboy in Half of a Yellow Sunday. He is from a poor village. He is loyal to Odenigbo and Olana. He is kind and hard-working. He learns to cook, to read, and to think. During the war, he is forced to join the army. He commits rape. He is haunted by what he has done. He returns home. He tries to forgive himself. Ugwu is a round and dynamic character. He changes dramatically. He is also the moral center of the novel. The reader sees the war through his eyes. His innocence is lost, but his humanity remains. Ugwu represents the ordinary people who suffer most in war. Another exam question asks you to discuss the use of multiple perspectives in Half of a Yellow Sunday. Here is your answer. Adichie uses multiple perspectives to tell the story of the Nigerian Civil War. The reader sees the war through the eyes of Olana, Odenigbo, Kainene, Richard, and Ugwu. Each character has a different perspective. Olana is a woman who suffers sexual violence. Odenigbo is an intellectual whose idealism is shattered. Kainene is a practical businesswoman who becomes a smuggler. Richard is an outsider who cannot fully understand. Ugwu is a poor village boy who is forced to become a soldier. The multiple perspectives give a complete picture of the war. The reader understands the war from different angles. This technique makes the novel richer and more complex. Here is what you need to take away. Half of a Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is a novel about the Nigerian Civil War. The plot follows Olana, Odenigbo, Kainene, Richard, and Ugwu. Themes include the horror of war, love and loyalty, tradition versus modernity, and the nature of truth. Adichie uses multiple perspectives, simple language, symbolism, and irony. Understanding Half of a Yellow Sun is essential for your literature exams. Practice these concepts. When you have them down, move to topic 2.